The great Australian dream. It's etched into our national identity, isn't it? That picture-perfect home, a backyard for the kids, a secure investment that practically guarantees a brighter financial future. But lately, for so many of us, that dream feels like it's slipping further and further out of reach. Between ever-increasing prices, rising interest rates, and the relentless pressure of the market, aspiring homeowners are left wondering if they'll ever get a foot in the door. The game feels rigged, doesn't it? Now, what if I told you there's a country not so far away where the housing market operates on an entirely different planet? A place where you can buy a house for the price of a used car or even for next to nothing. Intrigued? Good. Hey everyone, and welcome to Slim Pickings. For those of you who know my work as KJ in writing and art, you know I love exploring interesting ideas, and that's exactly what this new series is all about. Diving deep into investments, property, shares, and other fascinating topics that catch my eye. If you're new here or just enjoying what we're building, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on more content. Today we're embarking on a journey to Japan to investigate a phenomenon called Akiya, abandoned homes. We'll uncover why houses there depreciate rather than appreciate like they do here in Australia, and then we'll put it to the ultimate test. Can the great Australian dream really be found in the land of the rising sun? And how does that stack up against a simple investment in our own ASX? Before we pack our bags for Japan, it's vital we understand the bedrock of what we consider normal here in Australia. For generations, owning a home hasn't just been about having a roof over your head. It's been the cornerstone of financial security, the ultimate family asset, and in many ways the quintessential great Australian dream. We're talking about a cultural expectation, almost a rite of passage. And why is it such a powerful dream? Because for decades our houses have been more than just places to live. They've been incredible investment vehicles. Unlike a car that depreciates the moment you drive it off the lot, Australian property has historically been a reliable, often spectacular, appreciating asset. You buy a house today and in 10 or 20 years, it's very likely worth significantly more. This capital growth is a key driver for personal wealth, often overshadowing other forms of investment. For many Australians, their home equity is their biggest asset, their retirement plan, and often the legacy they hope to pass on. The idea of a property losing value over time rather than gaining it is almost unthinkable in our national psyche. This ingrained belief shapes everything from our economic policies to our dinner table conversations. Keep this perspective firmly in mind, because what we're about to discover in Japan completely flips this script on its head. Now let's transport ourselves to Japan, a nation of rich history, incredible innovation, and a truly unique approach to housing. Here, the great Australian dream of ever-appreciating property simply doesn't exist in the same way. In fact, for millions of homes, the opposite is true. What we're talking about are Akiya, a term that literally translates to empty houses or abandoned houses. There are millions of them across Japan, from bustling suburbs to remote villages. Some are falling apart, but many are perfectly salvageable, traditional homes just waiting for a new lease on life. But why do so many houses stand empty? It boils down to a fascinating mix of demographics and cultural preferences. Firstly, Japan faces a severe population decline and a rapidly aging society. Fewer young people means less demand for homes, especially in rural areas, and countless inherited properties simply have no one to live in them. Secondly, there's a profound cultural preference for the new. Unlike many Western countries where heritage homes are highly prized and appreciate in value, in Japan a house is generally seen as a consumable item, expected to last around 20 to 30 years before it's outdated. This is partly due to stringent earthquake building codes, which mean older homes might not meet current standards and are therefore less desirable. And this leads to the most critical difference: depreciation. In Australia, a house appreciates. In Japan, especially for wooden structures, it depreciates, often to near zero value for the building itself after a few decades. The value lies almost entirely in the land it sits on. This is a complete paradigm shift from what we understand. People simply don't want to live in old houses, leading to a surplus of perfectly functional, albeit dated, homes. Finally, there are inheritance issues. Owning an old, depreciating family home can actually become a financial burden due to property taxes, even if it's empty. Sometimes it's cheaper for heirs to simply let it go or even pay someone to demolish it, rather than maintain a property nobody wants. So while the thought of a free or incredibly cheap home might sound like the ultimate bargain, understanding this depreciation culture is key to grasping the true investment potential, or lack thereof, of the Akiya market. It's a different world with different rules. Alright, we've explored the fascinating and often contradictory worlds of Australian and Japanese housing. Now it's time for the ultimate showdown. We're going to compare the potential of diving into the Japanese Akiya market against the basic investment right here at home, specifically in the Australian Stock Exchange. And a quick note on why the ASX. The reality is, if you're looking at property investment in Australia with a budget in the 30,000 to 70,000 range, which is the typical purchase price for many Akiya, you simply won't find anything on our housing market. That budget barely covers a deposit in most areas, so for a truly comparable investment level, the ASX offers a far more accessible and realistic alternative. Scenario 1. Investing in an Akiya. Let's imagine you find that perfect Akiya for, say, 50,000 Australian dollars, a steal, right? But the purchase price is just the beginning. You need to factor in significant other costs. Purchase price, 30,000 to 70,000. Renovations, often substantial, 50,000 to 150,000, or a DIY option. Legal and agent fees, 5,000 to 10,000. Property taxes, ongoing. Travel logistics, for viewing, managing renovations, so you need to factor in those costs as well. Renovations alone can easily run into tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the condition and your ambition. Then there are legal fees, agent commissions, ongoing property taxes, and the sheer logistics of buying property in a foreign country, often involving significant travel. So that $50,000 quickly becomes a much larger figure, potentially upwards of $100,000 or more just to get it habitable. And what's the return? Financially, in terms of capital growth, it's unlikely to be positive. Remember, Japanese houses generally depreciate. You're not buying it to sell for a profit in 10 years. The return on an Akiya is almost entirely a lifestyle investment, a unique holiday home, a cultural immersion, a passion project, or perhaps a rental income stream if you navigate those complexities. Scenario 2. Investing the same amount in the ASX. Now let's take that same $50,000, or whatever your total Akiya budget would have been, and look at a far more accessible hands-off approach, investing it into a diversified Australian stock market exchange traded fund, or as they're known, ETF. Think of something like VAS or A200, which essentially gives you a small slice of Australia's largest companies. The beauty here is simplicity. You can buy into these funds with minimal fees, and you don't need to fly across the world, manage contractors, or learn a new language. Historically, the Australian stock market has delivered average annual returns of around 7 to 10%, including dividends. That's a powerful engine for wealth creation, especially over the long term, thanks to the magic of compound interest. After 10 years, that's $50,000 could be worth closer to $100,000, and after 20 years, potentially over $230,000, all without you lifting a finger beyond the initial investment. This growth is driven by the performance of entire sectors of our economy, not just the fate of a single aging house. So let's put them side by side. Capital growth. Akiya, unlikely, depreciates. ASX, strong historical appreciation. Effort and complexity. Akiya, very high, renovations, foreign laws and logistics. ASX, very low, buy and hold. Associated costs. Akiya, high, renovations, taxes, travel. ASX, low, brokerage fees, management fees. Income generation. Akiya, potential rental income if managed, but often a cost. ASX, regular dividends. Risk. Akiya, market liquidity, renovation blowouts, cultural hurdles. ASX, market volatility, but diversified ETF reduces specific company risk. The dream. Akiya, lifestyle, cultural experience, unique passion. ASX, pure financial growth, wealth building. It's a stark contrast, isn't it? One offers a tangible, unique experience with significant effort and questionable financial returns, while the other provides a hands-off approach to long-term wealth building. Which path aligns with your dream? So, we've journeyed from the soaring property prices of Australia to the intriguing world of Japan's Akiya. What have we learned? The great Australian dream as we know it, a home that appreciates significantly over time, becoming your primary wealth building asset, simply isn't mirrored in Japan's second-hand housing market. From a purely financial perspective, especially if you're looking to grow your wealth with a similar investment amount, parking your money in a diversified ASX ETF offers a far more predictable, passive, and historically profitable path. You're investing in an entire economy, letting compound interest do the heavy lifting without the complexities, risks, and significant effort of renovating a foreign property. But here's the kicker. Not all dreams are purely financial, are they? The Akiya phenomenon, while challenging as a conventional investment, offers a different kind of dream. It's the dream of a unique cultural experience, of owning a piece of Japanese heritage, of a passion project, or perhaps a truly affordable place to live or holiday in a breathtaking country. It's trading potential capital growth for an unparalleled lifestyle or personal fulfillment. Ultimately, the choice comes down to what you value most. Are you chasing aggressive financial returns and long-term wealth building, where the ASX proves a much stronger contender? Or are you drawn to the adventure, the cultural immersion, and the unique challenges and rewards that come with bringing a piece of Japanese history back to life? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Would you trade the potential financial gains of the Australian market for a life-changing experience in Japan? Or does the logic of the ASX win out for you? Let me know your perspective in the comments below. If you found this exploration helpful, thought-provoking, or just plain interesting, please give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the notification bell for more slim pickings on investment, property, and whatever else sparks my curiosity next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. We got slim pickings, travel around the countryside, trying to see what we can find. We got slim pickings, slim pickings.